We had some technical issues, and we are now recording the chat. So we will be recording the whole conversation and then just offering it, or just having it here for everyone who wants to know more about what we are doing with Solarpunk Nomads. I will make a recap. I was saying that we are going to talk with Guido from Solarpunk Nomads under the nickname of Earthbasedsoul, and we will be talking about our 3 action streams, like just as an introduction, about nodes, activism, and fundraising, just to make to give a context about what are the nodes basically. And then Guido, he will be explaining us what is Solarpunk Nomads, and what is the safe places. So please, Oscar, please, Alex, if you can invite Guido to the stage. And I don't know if you can do that for me, please. He raised his hand. Okay. Alex, can you please give Guido? Okay. Just a minute, please. Okay. Sorry, we were having some issues. Hi, Guido. How are you? Thanks for
not bad. Thank you for inviting me on stage.
Sorry, we had some issues here with
no problem.
With Discord. Thank you so much for joining us. This is our first talk about our first talk with our partners, and you are for sure one of the main partners of this meta nation that we are building. We will be, as I said, talking about a bit about the idea of nodes, and then you can explain us also what is Solarpunk Nomads, and how are we planning, and for sure, how are you planning the safe places?
Cool.
Okay, so
I'm ready.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna give a small context, because this chat is gonna be recorded, and then we will be posting it on our probably on the summaries channel, or we will let you know where we will be posting it. But I will give some context. We've been talking later on about the mission of West. You know that we are trying to develop this concept of like network states thing, but we are giving a more wide we are having a more wide approach to that. A network state is a concept developed by Balaji, which is a philosopher, investor, IT engineer, and he's a great thinker. And he's been working on this idea of network states for several years now. And actually, we've been on the list that he launched some weeks ago about the main nation network states working right now. And the idea of a network state is like to create a digital community in blockchain with like a tokenized community with a common mission, with an alternative moral perspective for that organization, for that social organization, and then with that create some standards from where jump into the physical dimension and secure a territory, and try to develop this whole idea of this digital nation into the physical stage. So what we are doing with that is, or related to that, is activating our nodes. The nodes are the basic, the basic portion of reality where we will be developing our whole project. And the thing is that we are for sure activating our Solarpunk ethos in those strategies. So what we want to do in those enclaves, which are digital or physical territories, we want there to activate a lifestyle related to the regenerative values and Solarpunk intentions and ideology. So we are now working on how we will be activating all those nodes. As you know, we have the flagship embassy going on. We have the safe places, which we will be talking today with Guido, going on. We also have the Solar Lab, and we have our small corner in the metaverse at the Voxels metaverse. So these are the whole options of nodes that we are now activating, but more will come, and they represent a kind of physicality of our core mission. So with the safe places, what we will be doing is just creating these portions of territory where to preserve our ideology, and where you could go as a citizen and find the possibilities of living like a kind of lifestyle related to that, for sure. And you will be part of the decision making processes of the whole activation of this node. And for that, we are joining Solarpunk Nomads. Solarpunk Nomads, now Guido will explain better what is, but it's basically the ones who started with this idea of Solarpunk nomadism, and they are focused on developing what is to be a nomad Solarpunk. We are in the era of nomadism. That is because we are having, or we are struggling with socio-environmental issues that are forcing people to migrate, and there are a kind of push for people to move from one territory into other. But there is also one thing, that is the eruption of the Web3, and how this Web3 is giving the option of reconfiguring work in order to become a nomad. So you will be not just physically anchored to a territory, but you could keep working on different projects through this economy of this decentralized economy, through DAOs, for example, or other projects that are more open to nomadism, and you can work from everywhere. So this nomadism, it's something pushing right now, and we urge to do it, or to start creating a nomadism based on the idea of Solarpunk. So the nomadism strategy, it's very, very, very related to other environmental impacts or other socio-environmental impacts, because we are used to create social organization, like in terms of politics, in terms of economics, and also in terms of human relationships, through the statistics, through the idea of being in a territory. But what is going to happen when we move oftenly? What is going to happen with taxes? What is going to happen with resources? What is going to happen with use of energy? What is going to happen with the human relationships? So all these things are in our focus, and for sure in the Solarpunk Nomads focus. So I made this whole introduction just to give some context, but it's time for Guido to start giving us some light on this, and maybe start explaining us what is Solarpunk Nomads and how the collective and how the project started.
Yeah, Thank you so much for inviting me and for this beautiful introduction. Let me just share my gratitude with WestDAO for supporting us since the beginning of our project. And we really met and we shared this concept, and you've been very supportive. So we are very grateful for that. So, uh, what is Solarpunk nomadism and how we started to talk about that about 5 months ago? And this project was originally developed, theorized a couple of years ago between me and my son when we were doing expedition to study or to document climate change, and we were thinking about how to transform this expedition in the future. At that time, we were looking at buying a Cybertruck that, as you may know, is not yet on the market. So we theorized this concept, this tribe of nomadic change maker. We call it at the beginning cyber nomads. And then fast forward a couple of years, beginning of this year, we started to colonize the Web3 space. And let me see. Can you hear me?
Sorry, can you? Yes, sure. Sorry, I was with the mic off. Yeah.
Okay, sure. No, sorry, because I just went off. Anyway, so beginning of this year, we started to approach the Web3 space and the Twitter space, and we renamed the project Solarpunk Nomadism from Cyber Nomadism because we really focus on the Solarpunk vision that we totally share. So the project had a lot of support. We presented it to Gitcoin Grant 15 and to Gitcoin Grant 14, and now we are presenting it at Gitcoin Grant 15. This just to make you a little bit overview. So what is a Solarpunk Nomad? A Solarpunk Nomad is, or better, why we need to develop these and what is it, a Solarpunk Nomad? Okay, for us, a Solarpunk Nomad is first of all, is a change maker. So it's somebody that really wants to build a different society and is inspired by the Solarpunk vision. And it decided to live a nomadic or initially a semi-nomadic lifestyle. And this is can be done in many different ways. But for the time being, we are focusing more on the let's say the use of electrical vehicles. So the first concept we are developing now is using an electric vehicle, zero emission, because now there is a technology that is it's a very new technology. It's called printed solar panel, and that can recharge your electric vehicle. And these vehicles will be always connected with internet through another new technology that is the Starlink or satellite connection, quite affordable and quite efficient. And the fourth technology is the Web3, let's say blockchain. There are these four, so electrical vehicle, specifically electric van, satellite connection, printable solar panel, and blockchain. So you put all these four together, and you can see a new lifestyle emerging of people who doesn't own a house, it doesn't stay in the same place for the whole year, but they move around, living and working on the road. So this, how to say, is it possible to do it now? Let's say almost, because some of the technology is already available and some other is just coming from, let's say, next year. So now you can own an electrical van. The printable solar panel are coming to the market next year. They are testing it now on a very interesting expedition they are doing in Australia. So there will be a Tesla from a university team that will, I think they will do something like 15,000 kilometers. recharging only with solar panel, with printable solar panel. So how does it work? Basically, you have your electric vehicle, you have a big roll of solar panel that are very thin and very robust. So you stop in a place, and then you open your solar panel and you recharge your battery. This, of course, is a new technology, so you don't expect that in 1 hour you will recharge 500 kilometers. So it takes time, and of course, it depends on the location. Probably in Norway in winter is not the right technology to use. But the way we imagine solarpunk nomadism, we imagine people who doesn't need to make 500 kilometers a day, but imagine people that move slowly on their territory doing seasonal migration, and they can maybe stop for 2-3 days in a place, and then they can recharge their batteries and go on. So this is how. And now why? And let's talk about the why. Why you want to become a solarpunk nomad? First of all, climate change. So climate change, as many of you know, is a thing already, and is starting to impact heavily our lives, and is not yet. Let's say some few areas are already uninhabitable, but in some other areas you start to feel that it's very unpleasant to stay for a few months of the year. So, for example, I'm talking from northern Italy. And nowadays, northern Italy, the summer, that was the best season up to a few years ago, now it's very unpleasant. So it's very hot and very wet, and you have basically 3 full months, or almost 4, where during the day you have to stay close at home. And if you don't want to use air conditioning, as for example, my family, we don't want to use it for ecological reason, then you're going to suffer or to be limited in your lifestyle. So first of all, if you can become a solarpunk nomad because you want to increase your climate change resilience. So maybe at the beginning you begin a semi-nomadic lifestyle. You move from your area during the hottest month of the year. You move typically north, at least in Europe, and then you come back to your place. But then maybe step by step you become fully nomadic. So second thing is you want to become a solarpunk nomad to decrease your footprint, because if you use an electric van and you recharge it with solar panel, your footprint will be very, very, very low. And surely you have to buy an expensive piece of technology now in a new electric van where you can live, let's say, you need an investment of about 60,000 euro, but then you will not have a house and all the stuff that we normally fill our house with. So comparison, a normal person or a solarpunk nomad, the solarpunk nomad will have a negligible ecological footprint. Then another reason, taking care of your climate change resilience, it helps you with your mental health. It helps you to live a positive life. Maybe just even a plan. You don't need to become a solarpunk nomad now, but you can maybe make a plan and be ready in a few years. This will greatly improve your mental health because you have a plan. You're not passive. You are building something. And of course, if you like to travel, this is beautiful because you can spend your life traveling and working and giving value to your life, being one of the person that are helping to build this very important shift in our society. So building a solarpunk society.
Wow.
Then, yeah.
Sorry, Guido. I will ask you some things before after you finish the whole explanation. Sorry for that.
Oh yeah, no problem. So that's about why to become solarpunk nomad. What solarpunk nomad do in our idea, in our vision, because it's still a vision, we are building it, but it's still a vision. So we imagine that these people will be of a very, very important, they will have a very important role to play to build a solarpunk society, because they will be somehow the storyteller of this Solarpunk vision, because moving from place to place, they will bring this positive vision, and also showing their lifestyle, they will inspire many other people to join this little, let's say, army of change maker, because there's nothing more inspiring than seeing somebody who has already taken a choice and is living the dream, let's say. So Changemaker will move around a territory. It could be at national level or international level, depending where you are. In Europe, we imagine that we will have thousands of changemaker, of nomadic changemaker, or solarpunk nomads, that will move typically seasonally. In the summer, they will go more north, and in the winter, they will go more south. And then what you do, you normally we imagine that people will begin to do like animals do, or many migratory animals do. By the way, I'm a biologist. And so you don't move randomly, but you explore territory, and then you you find the right places for you that you will visit many times a year, like in a cycle, like the birds do. They move from the south to the north, but then they have the places where they love to stop, because they find the resources. In our case, because you can exchange value with local community. So imagine that you are living in Spain, you will start to move north of 5-6 months a year, staying in Spain only in the let's say, winter or early spring or late fall months. And going north, you will stop, you have maybe 10 villages or 10 community. They will, you will stop regularly twice a year, going up north and going south, and helping them to develop a regenerative project and to develop the Solarpunk vision. So, if you have any question now, because then I move to the safe places concept.
Great. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I will open just a small space for some questions from my side, and then we will move to the safe place explanation. The first thing is that congrats for the whole project, because it's amazing. As you know, we are such in love with what you are doing. That's why we wanted to partner you. We think about nomadism as a, for sure, as the new lifestyle coming fast from like from this new reality that we are building. And the thing is that, as I said, there's no one talking about how address a new nomadism that is going to be not just nomadism, but it's going to be an ethic nomadism. It's going to be, in this case, a solarpunk nomadism, because nomad life has a lot of impacts surrounding it, and it's necessary to think about how to do it from a ethical perspective. And so in those terms, I was wondering if you have maybe by chance thought about how to face the challenge of socio-demographic issue. So what if nomadism becomes a real way of life for everyone? I mean, do you think about nomadism as a way of living for everyone, or just something exclusive in whatever sense that could be? I mean, only the ones that could afford it, or only some people that are maybe privileges in any sense, or maybe because if everyone wants to be nomad, no one could be. I don't know if you have any reflection on this, and if it's maybe a tricky question, but I think it's something quite interesting to address.
Yeah, it is a very interesting question. And let's say that we imagine in the next 20, 30 years, we will see a convergence of factors. And first of all, climate change will hit hard. So extreme weather will become, unfortunately, the norm in many seasons. And we will think we will have a strong socioeconomic crisis. and we will have many influx of people from abroad trying to say run away from extreme weather or climate change effects. And we will have also the development of new technologies that very soon having an electric van will be quite affordable, and the probably energy will be quite affordable in a matter of 10 years. And so many people will probably want to make this lifestyle. So there are surely many factors that will play a complex game on this aspect. Up to now, we are focusing on very precise segments of nomadism. We are really focusing on change makers, so on people who are already let's say, busy in a regenerative project or busy in the Web3 space. And this because it has also an added value to help these people to keep working also in expecting big changes in the weather pattern and having more extreme weather. But surely we will have to face this, and it's something that is very interesting for us, because for us, Solarpunk nomadism must be a way or a project that embrace everybody. And so we don't see like an our approach is not excluding other people. So we are not focusing only on Chainmaker, but we are starting from them, and we invite more people to embrace this lifestyle, becoming change maker themselves. Because once you are, you are really fascinated by the Solarpunk vision, and you see a possibility of building it, maybe you decide that this could be your life mission. And so part of our project will be to train new people and to create from scratch new Solarpunk nomads. Is this answering your question?
For sure, for sure, and I'm glad that we could be talking about this in other rooms, in other talks, because it's a very huge topic. And yeah, so I will make you some like one more question, and then we will go into the safe place thing. And it's that what about also the idea of exclusivity in terms of, okay, we are creating this, we are moving into other places, so we are just trying to create a new itinerary or a new route for people. But we know that, and this is not just about nomadism, it's more about a general concern. But what about the possibility of the tools, or even the how do you say, the assets that you need to become a nomad? So do you think that it's also, this is more structural maybe, do you think that we can think in a future where mobility it's much easier in terms of how do you say, of cars or even other ways of moving, and also the instruments or the tools that you need for a nomad life? Do you think that we are facing a future in which this is going to be much accessible for us, for everyone?
Yes, and again, we are starting from a very precise place, from, let's say, the idea of these change maker that start to have a nomadic or semi-nomadic life using electric van, because it's a starting point and is the easiest to build the imagination and the storytelling about Solarpunk nomadism. But in future, we imagine that will be Solarpunk nomads that will travel by their own means of transport. Could be sailing boat, for example, has zero emission with electric engine and solar panel. But also there can be nomad that will travel by foot or using public transport. Because at the end, you don't really need to own much when you choose this lifestyle, specifically if you have a network of support. That is what we imagine the safe places will be.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Guido. And let's talk a little bit about safe places. The starting point of this was that you were in your roadmap thinking about how to create or to activate a place where develop a meeting point, focus on those people moving around, and what this place should have to become a security, a place of security. I mean, in terms of, okay, you're gonna find a refuge, or you're gonna find a place where everyone will be welcome and everything. So it's not just about, also, as we've been talking before privately, it's not just about having a place where to be secure from nature, but also be secure from society. And parallel, meanwhile, we were also working on this idea of nodes, and chatting and talking and discussing. We realized that were 2 points of intersection, and that were 2 points that were embrace each other, and that there was a huge possibility of developing something together and team up in those terms. So you came with this idea of finally with this naming of safe places and the whole structure of what it could be. And then we decided that it could become a perfect node, as we were thinking about nomadism also, and as we were in the paradigm of Solarpunk, and as we were willing to activate places, physical places for our citizens, and where a lot of things could happen, from like educational projects, gathering events, or even a private or an endogenous economy going on there, where people from both communities could just jump in and be part of that. So we started with this seed idea, and now we are finally going on. So there's a kind of expedition going on that will start with this scouting of where to find this first safe place. You will now explain us the whole spectrum of the scouting that we will be doing. But then the thing is just is to we will broadcast all this from West. We will be offering live info about that and what is going on and what is going to be developed. And meanwhile, you will be and we will be working on the more exploration of the nomadism, sort of the Solarpunk nomadism concept, and also about the archetype or let's say a prototype of what a safe place could be, which would be like the MVP of a safe place, and what activities and what necessities or which resources you need or we need to activate this place. And then after all, we will be for sure acquiring this place and starting the whole activities to become or to turn that place into a real safe place. So please explain us where it comes, or from where it comes, this idea of safe place, and what are we gonna do in this expedition?
Sure. So let's start from why safe place, because we imagine this, and it will take a few years to build a relevant network of it. But we imagine a network of safe places, so places where the Solarpunk nomad can stop and being safe. Because first of all, let's say when we imagine our house where we live, First of all, we think at the safety, a place where we feel safe, and we gather with our family, but we can be there, nobody's kicking us out, and we can be relaxed and feeling at home. So we imagine a network of places like these that are quite totally different from eco-villages, because these places will be places where nomads will stop for a while, for a few weeks, maybe a few months at maximum, but then they will move on. So there will not be a permanent combination of people. So first of all, safe. They need to be safe. People need to feel safe there from, for example, from extreme weather. So now I will go into detail on how we will select it. They will need to have the legal right to stay. This is another important thing, because we are imagining the future, and we think the future will be challenging. So if you own, if you have a legal right to stay in a place, this will support you also in troubled times, because you are an owner or co-owner of this place. And then we will see in detail how we can do that. A place where you can find your mates, people that are sharing your dream, they're sharing your ethical code of conduct, and people that you already know, because probably you are in the same tribe, and most of them maybe you never met yet in the real life, but through internet, through you probably are already part of your family. So imagine a place where after being busy with your project along the road, then you stop for a few weeks. And then could be a place, and to open it to everybody, also a place where you can experiment a solarpunk way of life, and using the technology to have a sustainable lifestyle. And it can be used also as a training place for Solarpunk nomads or Solarpunk nomads to be. So we imagine these places embracing local communities, because this is a quite important aspect. We don't see places where you, as you say, like a bunker, where you defend yourself from the outside. You are totally disconnected with what's going on there. We imagine places where you have the legal right to stay, and where you give a lot of value to the surrounding territory. So that basically, in general, what a safe place is. Now, let's see how we want to do that. So we can move to the expedition, and also to which variable we will, how we will select or come to the selection of the first places. First of all, we will build this project step by step. So it's not something that can be done in a month or in a year. So it's a big project. We are thinking like a generational project will be very important for the shift toward a solarpunk society. So we move step by step, thinking deeply which step will be done, and learning from the experience. Initially, we will select places that we will be used only seasonally, and in Europe. And in Europe, seasonally, I mean now the biggest effect of climate change are the hot waves, and so we will looking for places where we can escape from hot waves. We will build a pilot first, so we will identify a first area, and this will be done in the next weeks and months, where to test the project, and then we will move on to have a second place. And then, meanwhile, we will build, together with West, a community of solarpunk nomads to be, because again, we are offering this as a positive way of increasing your climate resilience. And so we are here to build a community. It's not like a private club where only already people who are solarpunk nomads can enter. It's more like a school where you can come, and together we will help you to develop this lifestyle. So, if you have any question, and otherwise I will move with some of the variable we will focus on, and then we can open maybe the question to the floor.
For sure, you can go ahead. I think that it's we still have around 15 minutes, so if you go ahead and then just open the space for questions, it will be great.
Okay, I will go very fast on this and how we select the safe places. First of all, we will look for the direct hazard of a place. So we look for flooding risk, avalanche risk, fire risk, drought risk, and water availability. And we will get a look to the microclimate now, but also the evolution of time, because we're looking for places that will be used for a long time. So we will do our best to imagine how these places will evolve in the time. We will imagine also how important will be to be in a specific place, because these solarpunk nomads will work on the territory to help to build the solarpunk society. And we will also try to understand how these places can offer some economic opportunity for being developed. And other variables that we will focus on will be availability of places and their prices, of course, their reachability, social stability, and defensibility. That's also an issue, important. Possibility of being at least partly self-sufficient, and also the language barrier. So all these variables and many other will help us to identify the first hypothesis, and then to discuss with our partner West which one go first. Which kind of places we can imagine that could be the first safe places? It depends on the activities, but we have a range of places possible to be developed, and imagine places where some of them could be bare ground, where at the beginning I said that we will focus initially on places to be used only seasonally, so only during the summer months. So the first one will be identified in the Western Alp, Italian side. And so we will look for, example, bare ground to be bought, where we can do seasonal activities, mounting, for example, tended camp, and inviting people to join us for training activities and for building this solarpunk nomad paradigm. Or they can be, if they are reachable by road, will be good for people who already has a vehicle, or if we are high on the ground. So like in Italy, in that area, there are a lot of empty land, old farm that can be old, we call it alpeggi. So there are mountain places where they were used to bring the cows for the summer pasture, and now they're empty because it's an activity that is dying off. Buying a place like this will allow us to start to do some activities. Many of these places have already some buildings, maybe derelict, to be rebuilt, but without needing many building permission. Another category will get a look at farms, not so high in mountains, but more medium mountains. There are some farms, maybe again, farms that can be abandoned or that can be bought, so without big investment. And then, of course, there is a possibility of buying places more where you can have a more stable presence the whole year, so you go more in the valley. And then also there is another possibility, but not what we are doing at this stage, but will be to build nodes with existing structure and existing community, and partnering with them at the local level. But initially, for the pilot area, we will look for a self-contained area. Basically, this is the introduction, and I will open the floor for any question that there may be.
Yeah, thank you so much, Guido. It's inspiring, because I as you were explaining it, I was recreating it on my mind, and I was clearly watching and clearly seeing what is gonna happen there, and what is going to be all the possibilities. I will start from myself with a question, if you don't mind, and then anyone who has a question could just raise her or his hand and go ahead. And the question is, what it's more, it's like a summarizing kind of summarizing what you explain totally, but in one idea. And it's what a Solarpunk nomad would expect to find when he or she arrives into a safe place. I mean, what kind of things, like, for example, okay, am I gonna find energy resources for my trip? Am I gonna find other people, like, as you said, it would be initially something stationary and something related to summer maybe, and whatever. Am I gonna find an education program for 2 weeks? Am I gonna find a place where to I don't know, change my batteries or whatever, as I said, like energy resources or whatever? And what is the overview of what you will find, or of what you would find when you get to a safe place?
I have two answers. Let's say one next year and one in, let's say, 5 years. Next year, I imagine that a place should be a place of training, a place where people can come and learn with us, and we can imagine together this project. So, learning place with temporary structure, and we have experience on that. We did many learning experience in our career, and we can do that. And so, imagine a place where to bring an emerging community together. If we imagine instead, let's say 5 years from now, and that we will have already probably some hundreds of Solarpunk nomads living this life at least part of the year. Imagine a caravan park, so a place where you can arrive with your vehicle and you are allowed to stay. Of course, there will be some coordination aspects, so you have to book it, and anyway, you can stop there for maybe a month or a few weeks. You will find place where to socialize. You will find things that normally you don't have when you travel. So, like a bigger kitchen, a community kitchen. You will find some labs where you can learn new skills or teach the skill you know and share with the community. A lot of possibility of socializing with your colleagues, because this is how we create value and we grow together. And also possibility of recharging your batteries. So we imagine places with plenty of solar panel or other means of sustainable production of energy. And also in the best places, farming that will be done by the community. So when you are there, part of your time, you socialize and you offer your job growing veggies. I imagine maybe in greenhouse or some hydroponics, and so you can grow your food, maybe the food that you are not going to eat because you stay only a month, but you are growing the tomatoes for the next Solarpunk nomad that will come and enjoy your efforts. This is basically what we imagine in 5 years. If you have to move forward and think in 20 years, is a little bit more complex because situation will be quite different. But let's stop now for up to 5 years.
Great. I would add to that, maybe a place for work also, no, like a working corner, like a place for base your maybe your kind of office for a while during your staying there. So
Sure.
let's think also about that. And yes, I don't know if someone in the audience wants to come to the stage, if someone has any question or whatever. And if not, because maybe you are a bit shy or you are tired or whatever, please, if you want to ask anything about the Solarpunk Nomads project or our safe place node, feel free to go also into our West Discord, and you have a special channel. You have the notes channel, and you can just ask anything about this there, and for sure keep talking on this. Someone who wants to make a question? Well, no hands rises here. So
okay, let me add that we are totally available for the West community. So in case somebody is too shy to ask now, or too tired, or maybe too many information, he has to digest it first, just contact us. And part of the agreement with West is to make us available to interact with you in the right place in your Discord. And soon we will know how to do that, but we will be always available for you, also for one-on-one chat, whatever you may need. We are here for you.
Thank you so much, Guido. They also have their own Discord, so feel free to jump into Solarpunk Nomads Discord. You have also the Gitcoin grants 15 going on right now. We have our own one. They have also their own one. So if you want to just collaborate, go jump into Gitcoin's grant, and we will be so thankful for that. Well, thank you so much, Guido. Thank you for coming around. Thank you for the whole explanation, for your time, for your incredible clarividence on what is going on in the what is going to be, how is going to be the future, and to draw a line direct to that. So thank you so much for everything. And yeah,
thank you so much for inviting us. And then if you share the link with me, I will share with all our community that are pretty interested to know more about you and more about Solarpunk Nomadism. So, and what we are building on. Because from next week, we will go full steam in identifying the first safe place. So this will be fun.
Great. For the ones who join us not at the beginning, they couldn't listen to the whole chat, we will be posting it on Discord here on West Discord, and also on Solarpunk Discord, on Solarpunk Nomads Discord. So you will have a second chance there. Well, thank you so much, and have a nice afternoon for everyone.
Thank you for having us.
Bye bye, Guido. Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye bye.